Hey Patreon! So today I wanted to talk about some of my favorite media type things so far in 2019. That's not really how I want to explain it. So today, this week, this beautiful Saturday, it's not actually Saturday, but pretend that it is, I want to talk about some of my 5 favorite no, that's not right either. I want to talk about 5 things that I've liked this year, movies, books, games, that sort of thing. So first off, books. Earlier in the year I read In Cold Blood, which I think I talked about on a previous video. At first it was really hard to get into because the language is so specific, but once you get past that sort of learning curve, it was a really, really good book. I really liked it. I like a true crime. I like a mystery, murder mystery. I thought it was really good. So I read that, I don't know, a couple months ago. More recently, I have been reading The Goldfinch. So I love Donna Tartt's previous book. I'm pretty sure this one came first. Did it? Donna Tartt's The Secret History is one of my favorite books. If you're interested at all in getting into her stuff, I would definitely try The Secret History first. It's not as big, it's not as intimidating, it's absolutely incredible. And then of course The Goldfinch, the movie, is coming out soon. So I thought, well, I gotta read the book, finally. I've wanted to read it for a really long time, but because it's so big, it's fairly intimidating, you know? So I've been putting it off. The movie's coming out. I thought, now's the time. I gotta read it. The book is incredible. I'm only about 160 pages in, but I read it every day, just a little bit at a time. I started reading it before I went to bed for maybe 20 minutes, half hour, and I was so sad that I've stopped reading it right before bed and I read it during the day because it is pretty heavy and it is pretty upsetting, but the book is so good. So if you have any interest, definitely check it out. Unfortunately, it looks like the new movie is gonna be crap, so that sucks, but I can kind of see why, especially when you look at how big this book is and they're trying to cram it into one film. It's not gonna work. So if anything, try and read the book if you can. I'm hoping to finish this before I see the movie because I probably will still see the movie, most likely. But the book is incredible. I think it took her 9 years to write it or something ridiculous. So it's absolutely beautiful and upsetting, and I love it. Next up, movies. So this year I've seen quite a few movies, not tons that I really loved. I saw Midsommar in the cinema, which was gross and upsetting and uncomfortable, and I really thought it was good. I didn't enjoy it, I'll tell you that much. I did not enjoy watching that movie, but I thought it was really well done, and it's a horror film set in the beautiful, bright daylight, which is very interesting. I definitely wouldn't recommend it for everybody. I told my parents they probably wouldn't like it, but if you are into gory, kind of dark horror, definitely check it out. A horror movie in the daylight. Fantastic. Recently I saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which was fantastic. Great music, great camera direction, just a really interesting film. I thought Brad Pitt was fantastic. I mean, they're all great, but Brad Pitt was real good. Also, again, because I love true crime and I know the original story behind Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which focuses on Charlie Manson and the Manson murders and that sort of thing. So if you know about that, it makes the movie that much better. So if you don't, I would read up, even just the Wikipedia page on the Manson family murders, read that, then go see the movie, because the movie is kind of, but the whole time I was guessing how it was going to end, which is cool. It's a good film. It's a long boy, but it's definitely worth watching, and maybe even a second time too. Although it's not a typical movie, I guess, I also saw Apollo 11 at the IMAX type cinema place. It was insane. I wanted to cry. Beautifully done. It's all actual footage, actual voices. There is no narrator sort of connecting everything together, which was really interesting how they've done it. It's a great piece of storytelling. If you want to check it out, if you can. I think it was like a limited release, I'm not sure, but I love anything to do with space, NASA, the shuttle launches, going to the moon, anything like that. I want to watch it, and Apollo 11 was no exception. I know it's not 2019 movie, but I did just watch The Guilty, which is a Danish film. You should be able to find it on Netflix, I think is where I watched it, or Amazon Prime. But yeah, The Guilty, it is all in subtitles. It's only about an hour and a half, but it all takes place in one room at a emergency dispatch center, like 999 or 911 or whatever. And it was so interesting. I didn't know if I was gonna like it, because sometimes movies that are done in one set obviously get boring, but this was so interesting. So if you can find it, pretty sure it's on Netflix. It's called The Guilty. I'm pretty sure it's 2018, but I just watched it, so it still counts. Next up is TV. So this year I watched Chernobyl, which I talk about constantly because I loved it. It is dark, it's upsetting, it's very hard to watch, it's beautifully done. I thought it's one of the best shows this year, maybe even recent years that I've watched, that I keep thinking about. It's got a color scheme, it's got a real, it's good. If you can find it on HBO or online somewhere, and if you can stomach through it, I know my mom actually stopped watching halfway through, because there is an episode, if you've seen the show, you probably know which one, to do with, I don't want to spoil it, but anyway, she stopped watching it, my dad continued on, and I loved it. I thought it was incredible. I also just finished watching season 2 of Mindhunter, which was so good. I watched the first season when it first came out, like 2 years ago. And then I watched it again just now, and then went straight into season 2, so everything was still like really fresh in my mind, because I didn't really remember it. And I'm really glad that I rewatched it, because there's so much stuff that would have gone completely over my head. But I thought season 2 was just as good as season 1. It still has that same feel. The one character, the guy who plays Bill Tench, is one of the FBI guys. He is my favorite. He's fantastic. I love him so much. I just want to give him a hug. But yeah, season 2 is fantastic. If you like the first season, you will love the second season as well, which is really nice, because sometimes you don't get that. I'm actually going to be talking about Mindhunter on my new podcast, which I've been doing now for a couple weeks. That probably won't come out for a little while, but definitely check it out, because I'm going to talk about it if you listen to the podcast. If you don't listen to the podcast, watch it anyway. It's a great show. Now, it's definitely not 2019, but I did just finish watching the entire series of Mad Men. Wow. It's probably in my top 5 of all time. It's beautiful. It's incredibly well done. There's plot development and character development, and I cried. Mad Men was one of those shows that I always wanted to watch, and I kind of put it off because, again, kind of like The Goldfinch, it's a big show and it's a lot of commitment and time to put into it, but it is top 5 best show of all time. Next up is music. So I tend to listen to a lot of music, whether it's new music, old music, music in between. I listen to a lot, like quite a lot. This year though, in 2019, I've really loved the new Black Keys album called Let's Rock. It is like new rock perfection. It is such a good album. It has really sort of like 70s rock vibe, but it's still very much a new rock album. It's incredible. Check it out. It's called Let's Rock by the Black Keys. Fantastic. I've also been playing a lot of Zelda video games, and I found this Spotify playlist called Zelda and Chill, and it's basically lo-fi versions of Zelda songs and themes and stuff. I love it. I listen to it when I'm working all the time. It's like fantastic. Probably won't really matter to you if you don't know the Zelda franchise, but even if you don't, I mean, give it a shot. It's really good. Of course, 2019 is the year of Lizzo. If you guys know about her, I'm not sure this is the right demographic, but her new album is absolute fire. It's so good. It's everywhere now. She's blowing up. It's incredible. I'm happy. It's a fantastic album, and it's a real, like, girl power album. Otherwise, I listen to a lot of like bits and pieces. I have Spotify, so I tend to be there the most, and sometimes I'll just pick a song and then listen to the radio based on that song and just kind of let it go. I have actually just started listening to Lana Del Rey's new album. Again, not sure this is the right audience for her music, but some of those songs are so good. Play them in my car. Fantastic. And finally, video games. So this year I have played a lot of different games, but only a little bit each time. So for those of you who don't know, I stream live video games on Twitch every Sunday evening. I usually start around 6:30-ish, and I'll go for maybe 2 hours every Sunday. So because of that, I play a lot of different games. I tried Wolfenstein Youngblood, which I didn't really like. I tried Division 2, which was okay. I tried some Hitman games, which I'm not good at. But I get to sort of try bits and pieces because I might do, Hitman for one Sunday, and then next Sunday I did maybe Sekiro, which I was so bad at, it was embarrassing. And then maybe the next weekend I do a Wolfenstein game. So it really just depends. I get to try little bits and pieces. I rent all of my video games, so it's not a big like financial burden to buy and then never play them again. So if you are interested in renting games, I would definitely recommend Boomerang Game Rentals. That's what I use. It's really, really helpful. I think they're based here in the UK, and you basically it's kind of like Netflix. You pay a monthly fee and you can choose which tier you want to be on. And then depending on which tier you are, you can rent X amount of games. Maybe you get first dibs if you pay a bit more to like the new games, all that kind of stuff. But it's super helpful if you want to try a lot of games but you don't want to buy them. I also played, case in point, I rented Farming Simulator 2019. That was not for me. We played it on stream, like on Twitch, for, 40 minutes, and that was enough for me. But it is a great service. Otherwise, I've really been playing, like I said, a lot of playing Zelda Ocarina of Time. I've been playing that on stream as well as just in my own time because it's the best game ever. Don't at me, don't tell me otherwise. Ocarina of Time rules. But otherwise, I haven't really had like a big new game that really sucked me in. There's a lot of new games coming up, like Death Stranding, I'm really fascinated with. I don't think that's till like November-ish, maybe. I don't know, but I'm excited. So those are the movies, books, TV shows, video games, music that I have been into lately. If you guys have any suggestions, like you're reading something that you absolutely love, or you just found a movie that was incredible, please let me know. I'm always looking for new stuff. Always, always, always. But I hope you guys are having a lovely Saturday. I'm just realizing, so this is obviously the normal place that I film, but because we are later in the season and we are slowly approaching autumn, the sun is in a different spot, and now we have this problem. So I'm not sure how to get around that. Maybe I'm gonna have to find like a certain time of day. I can only record like late in the day or really early in the morning. I'm not sure, but this is gonna be a problem. I actually also just filmed a sponsored video, which I'm excited about, but I'm also nervous. It seems like there are a lot of people that watch my stuff, or maybe they stumble upon it, and they really despise me doing videos when I get free stuff. So like the Indian snack video, people were really mean. Like, how dare you take free stuff? You know, you're just doing this whole thing for the money, for the free food and getting sponsored and all that stuff. It's like, yeah. But anyway, I just filmed a sponsored video. I had an issue with the sun, so you'll see partway through I had to change it. Anyway, that's probably gonna go up this coming week. Maybe do a bonus Thursday. It's gonna be a bonus video because it's not my usual stuff. So I had mentioned for the $10 and up people, you get access to a Discord chat room basically. And in there I was saying, you know, I've got this sponsored video. I think I might do it as a bonus video, and we sort of talked about it, and I definitely am gonna do it as an additional video. So that'll come out sometime next week. I'm excited because it was sponsored, so they paid me and they sent me a bunch of free stuff, and I got to make a video that I think is very funny. Oh no. Is that how you do it? Okay, come back to me in a minute. But I'm also nervous on how people are going to take it, you know, because people are mean. Anywho, I'm gonna have to figure out a sun situation. We're gonna have to, that's soon. It's gonna become a problem real soon. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support here on Patreon. Again, if you've got a new album or TV show or something that you really, really love, post about it, share it. It's how you find the best stuff, is from other people's recommendations, I find. But I'm gonna go now. My butt is so numb, I can't feel either of my feet. So I'm gonna slowly scooch up. Ow. Slowly scooch up. That's it for me, I guess. Thank you so much for your support. I hope you have a beautifully wonderful Saturday and you do something fun or just calm and pleasant, or whatever you like to do. I hope you have a great week, and you have a great week coming up, and I will talk to you later. Okay, bye.